Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the RK3 Show. I'm Robert Kennedy III. RK3, that's me. And it's time to do this again. Wow, it's been a minute. This feels good. The energy is tight. The vibe is right. Oh, yeah. I'm having fun in here. This is episode number 1 of the RK3 Show. And I'm excited because this is my 4th podcast. I've had a couple of personal development podcasts and a leadership podcast previously, and they were great platforms, but I'm super excited about this one because it comes with a little more clarity for me. Clarity about my calling, clarity about purpose, about how I can impact people, and clarity about what makes me smile. So I'm hoping to transfer that clarity over to you. Now, by way of introduction, I just want to tell you a little bit about the show. So it was a couple of years ago during a workshop that I actually realized what I was doing. I was delivering a leadership development workshop when a seasoned gentleman in the room, he piped up and he said, yeah, that's good information, but how do I deliver it? I try to share ideas with these millennials all the time, but it doesn't work. So I asked him, well, how are you giving the information? And he says, well, I just tell them. I say what I say, and I say it firmly, and I try to say it with authority so they will listen. But these new employees, they just don't hear stuff. So then I told him a quick story about my first leadership experience and how my boss told me that I couldn't be buddy-buddy with employees. And as I was telling him the story, you could see him begin to lean in and pay attention a bit. And then I shared how I solved the problem by asking questions. And then finally, I asked him, do you see what I just did? What? He says, so I said, I told you a story. Why did I do that first? So he smiles and he says, well, to kind of put me in your world a bit. And that's when it occurred to me that what I was doing every day was more than just leadership development. It was connecting people, connecting worlds, and creating possibility through stories. So that's what this podcast will explore: business, communication, motivation, leadership, and possibility through the lens of storytelling. Now, before we jump into the interview for today, I wanted to let you know about a community where you can connect with others who are passionate about growth, exploring their passions, and telling their stories with confidence. It's the Speak Right Now community. I want you to join me in the Speak Right Now community on Facebook, and you can go to Facebook, search Speak Right Now community, write as in writing a story, WRITE, the Speak Right Now community, or you can go to speakrightnow.com/community and join us as we march to 1 million storytellers. Okay, so let's get to the show. Today, I'm pulling up an interview I did about a year ago with a superstar professional speaker friend of mine. And she's such a superstar that she goes by one name, Pegine.
Communication, motivation, leadership, and more. You're listening to the RK3 Show.
We are here with another amazing UHMAZING guest today. And I don't even want to go into detail just yet because she's so amazing on her website. There's something, as a former teacher, I loved alliteration, and her website says that she's feisty, fearless, focused, and fun. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to bring you this person who's so rock and roll and phenomenal that they go by one name and one name only. Pegine, how are you today?
I am so excited. Be feisty, be fearless, be focused, have fun.
Yeah.
I am so excited, and I love the RK3. Ooh, there you go. Starting to set up some excitement. And for me, this is just awesome to be with you. So thank you for having me.
Well, listen, people already are getting a little. Be feisty. What was that song? Sing that again.
Be feisty. Be fearless. Be focused. Have fun.
So,
I got the power. She's got the power. We've got the power.
So when you go out on stage, is that how you bring do you have a song theme music, or do you just give the audience?
I have my own song. So I've written the words of my song. I hired a producer to write the song. I hired a singer to sing the song, so that just before I go on stage, it's already starting. When I start walking through, it's getting loud. And what's really interesting is I have kind of a video that has the words.
Yeah.
So that in the beginning, people don't like, what is this? Who is this person? Hello. But then as I start incorporating some of the words, and then at the end, they actually have the song. And I will tell you, the song has been so powerful that people actually have it as a ringtone.
Wow. So tell me about this brand a little bit. So we know about one-namers. We know about Michael. We know about Madonna. We know about Beyonce and the Bayhive. So who is this Pegine person, and where did you get the idea, or what made you decide to go with just the one-name brand?
So the first was from a marketing standpoint. So my name is Pegine Echevarria. Mm-hmm. And what was happening, and I would notice it for years, that people say, what is your name? And I go, my name is Pegine. What's your last name? Echevarria. And then they get the glazed look over their face because they were struggling with the first name. Pegine. What? Huh? What? I've never heard that. What? Now I'm giving them a second name.
Yeah.
And so at that point they decide, I'm not even going to recognize you. So I truly said, well, freak that. I'm just going to go by my first name because it is a powerful first name.
Right.
And, it's my world. I live in La La Land. I am all that. And I said, well, Cher can go by one name and Madonna could go by one name. I can go by one name. And of course, then there's Oprah and then Beyonce and then Shakira and there's all this. And I just said, that I'm just Pegine. What's powerful about it is then people started to feel they were special when they knew me personally.
Ooh.
So they would start marketing then saying, oh, have you seen Pegine? Pegine who? Oh, Pegine. You don't need it. She doesn't need any other names. You got to know Pegine. And then they started to add something else. 2 other words which we've incorporated into our branding, which was, you don't know Pegine? Oh my gosh, Pegine Power is amazing. Her power is amazing. So we've started to use Pegine Power. So in my song, Pegine Power, Pegine Power, be feisty, be fearless, be focused, have fun. And then what started happening when my larger programs, my scale, people then started using Pegine, and they would say the Pegine experience.
Wow.
So for me, it started with people not being able to say both names. Then it started with, I'm going to own me. I own me. This is me. There's nobody out that could ever be me, so I'm going to own it. And then it started broadening into this other piece. And then when we decided to name the company, because I always knew I wanted to be able to bring in other speakers, other trainers, then I named the company Team Pegine.
Right.
For 2 reasons. First off, if you read Pegine, people would start saying Pegine, Penguin, Paganini. They made up stuff. And so I needed a way for them to remember how to say the name, as
right.
well as recognize that I'm a power source about leadership and team. So we named it Team Pegine.
Awesome. So you've gone through this process. How does a beginning speaker, somebody that is new to the game, really find their thing, that identity, like you found, that allows them to stand out or allows them to just be recognized in a marketplace that's already crowded?
It's a really great question, because first off, we all have to understand that each one of us is absolutely positively unique. And each one of us has a unique way of doing it. And what happens within the speaking industry is we see people that, we love the way they speak. We love them. We want to be like them. So we start mimicking what they do.
Right.
And it becomes a process. So you start mimicking what other people do. You start, I'm going to do that. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit. I'm going to stand. I'm going to read notes. And that's an important process. I think that people discount that process because it is only within that process that you start noticing, that doesn't feel really well to me. Only in that process that do you start doing some magic that comes out of your voice, because you're connected to your soul and you're connected to your heart. That magic starts going and you suddenly realize, wow, my story really connected that in that moment. You start giving yourself permission to express your truth in those moments. But in the beginning, you really do have to just get on stage and fail and fall down and feel really uncomfortable. I mean, please, I speak like all over the place, right? Well, let me change that. So that those of you that are listening to me, if you have a speaking engagement and want to hire me, you don't think that I'm totally booked because I really want to do your gig. So I speak more than enough, but I'm open for way more. Even now, as I've gone, I've been doing this full-time as a full-time professional speaker, making 6K up to 7K some years on my own, is knowing 7K? Is that $1 million? That's
nope, 7 figures. 7,000, 7 figures. Gotcha.
7 figures.
Yeah.
Is knowing that you're always in transition. There are speakers that have been out that do the same speech all the time and going in, but to me, it's like, wow, my world is changing. I'm expanding and having different experiences. I'm evolving. And so on stage, I'm always looking to evolve with the audience.
Right. So you're speaking about evolution, but one of the things that, number one, you've got that song, you're fearless, you're focused, you're fun, you're feisty. And in a corporate culture that is sometimes seen as straight-laced, stand up, you got to be a certain way. How do you bring that Pegine personality and that power into that corporate setting and still, have them not feel totally, oh my gosh, uncomfortable? We're out of our comfort zone here.
Oh, my job is to make them uncomfortable.
Ooh.
So let me just take a sec. So my company, we make leaders great. And we do that by teaching them to have influence, impact, and to inspire others. And we use a variety of forms, right? From speaking to training to event to experiences to project management, blah, blah, blah. But they will always, if they're hiring me, always say the same thing. We really want to bring you in. And we just want to let you know that you might want to take it down a little bit. We are a very, very conservative organization, and we may not respond. And I always say to them, so why did you pick me?
Right.
Why did you look at my videos? Yes. Have you looked at my website? Yes. Have you seen what people have said to me? Yes. So why are you hiring? Well, because our people really need to step out of their comfort zone. They really need to connect. They really need to understand that influence takes courage. I said, so that's exactly why you hired me. So I'm not going to change, but understand I am 99% of my work is with very conservative, very straight-laced, I'm going to live by the rules, but boy, do I want to be somebody else.
Wow.
And so, and so it's really interesting. People say, well, like I just spoke to the German Speakers Association. I was in Germany and Austria, and I went and I was their keynote, and they all said, Germans are very serious. And I went, oh God, you sound just like my clients. So
Right.
I did me, and then it was so interesting. I got immediately after I stopped, I had one guy run up to me say, can I hire you? I had another person saying, I've got some leads for you. And so here I am in Germany where everybody says it's very conservative and you can't do this stuff. And well, I'm sorry, I got hired. So I guess they do like it.
Right. Right. So you're talking about Germany and all of these different places. I want to move to just that hiring process. You're here and you're based in the United States and you're international now. And a lot of newer speakers are trying to get to that place. How does a speaker, what are the things that they need to do to continue getting booked?
They have to get out of their comfort zone and start putting themselves out there. My first paid speaking, so I didn't know anything about paid speaking. I didn't know anything about speakers. I knew nothing, even though I had been speaking, and even though I had been in corporate, and even though I had been a teacher in a non-for-profit, even though, I mean, obviously I must have seen speakers, but I didn't know they were paid. And it wasn't until I was on TV a lot, and Montel Williams pulled me aside. I had been on his show 32 times back when his show was a hit, and he pulled me aside. You should be out there speaking. What are you doing? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm literally blind.
Right.
But in that moment, I started looking up. And so the first thing that I did was I actually went to local libraries. And for $500, I would come in and teach you how to work with toddlers, how to be great toddler parents. I did a lot of parents education. That was my first, and they paid me $500. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you paying me to do this? I had the chintziest brochure. But here's what I've learned from the business. You want to get booked? You got to make phone calls. Every time we stop making phone calls, I don't care whether it's cold calls. I mean, we do cold calls, we do warm calls, we do calls. The moment I stop calling, the moment David, my right-hand person, stops calling, the business stops. That's for sure. So you just got to call. So I don't care if it's you calling libraries. I don't care if you're calling. I mean, we had a stack of military procurement people. That's how we got into the federal government. We call them all the time, thousands of them. It doesn't matter if they say no. It doesn't matter if you don't get an email. It doesn't matter. It's something about the energy. Energy in this world generates that. So that's number one. Number two, if you had to have a website, it doesn't have to be, it can't be chintzy. Well, let me change that. It's got to have your contact information.
That's helpful. Yeah.
Well, you would be surprised how many speakers, like really, really famous speakers, don't have on their first page their phone number, their email, what do you talk about? And even my own website here, I had spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on my website. And everybody was like, ooh, your website rocks. Be feisty, be fearless, be focused, be fun. Oh, so cool. The speakers loved it. Until one speaker pulled me aside and said, okay, there's nothing on your website that says what you do.
Right.
Like there was nothing that said I was a keynote speaker. There was nothing that said I did coaching. There was nothing. And it was all about me, nothing about what I do for them.
Wow. So
we quickly switched. Then we just switched on the slides. The content was great. It was the slides that, when you went first to the page. So everybody's website has to say, what do you do and what do you solve? And for new speakers, you go, I don't know, I just want to motivate them. Really? Well, why do you want to motivate them? Well, because they're not doing such great. Well, why aren't they doing so great? Because they feel lousy. So they feel lousy. Why do they feel lousy? Because they've been telling themselves really negative messages. So then your solution is you're giving them tactics and tools so they can think better thoughts to be more powerful and right? So what's your solution? And you've got, thank God I was in direct sales for a while because you got to call. You got to put yourself out there. That's how you get business. You are 95% of a speaker's life is selling.
Yep.
To do the 5% that you love.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got these calls and you speak and how long have you been speaking again? Since the 90s, you said?
I have been in business full time for 21 years.
Wow. Okay. So a lot of people, when they think about the speaking industry, they think about the sexy piece, the keynotes, and you stand in front of an audience of 50,000 in a stadium, and they're all ranting, raving fans hollering your name. And that's kind of the vision that a lot of people, especially when they're getting into speaking and they hear the word motivational speaking, they think, oh yeah, Tony Robbins, blah, 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 blah. Ah, it's me. So for a newer speaker, what is something that you would recommend to them so that they can really get a picture of not only the industry, but a way that they can go that might be successful for them?
That's a great question. So yes, there are stadium environments where you could speak. But starting out, you're not going to get there. And if you try to book it, it's almost that's one of those experiences that comes to you at the right time at the right place.
Right.
And really, it's just because you've been consistent and out there. What is more important for you to recognize is you can be extraordinarily successful speaking to 100 people in a room, making a really nice piece of money. And when I talk about that, I'm talking that you're going in for 30 minutes to half an hour to an hour maybe, and you can be bringing home anywhere between $10,000 to $25,000, to go in, but you have to earn it. You earn it through the years of proactive. The best piece of advice that I can give you is a piece of advice that I got from a man named Bob Frere. And I had been speaking professionally, and I was like, oh, nothing is happening. Kill me. This is terrible. And then he was looking at me, and he said, we're on the corner of 47th and 5th. Stuff was not happening. And he had just closed a huge deal.
Right.
And I looked at him, and I'm like, I clearly had the look of, oh my God, everything sucks. And he went, he looked at me and went, you know what? I'm a freaking 20-year overnight sensation. That message, I'm a 20-year overnight sensation, took away all of my expectations that was going to happen overnight. It was the decision for me that I was no longer going to look at this business as a short end game. It was a commitment for a long term. It's kind of like my marriage. I married 32 years.
32 times, man.
Yeah,
Liz Taylor,
right.
time.
I was just saying, 32 years. But it's that long-term decision. This is what I do. This is how I choose to do it. This is who I am. This is what's going to come. So I am, but I will tell you something. Can I share one thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I will share that one of the things that you talk about mistakes that you've done in the past. The one thing that I wish that I didn't do, and it was because of a confidence issue,
right,
was I knew I wanted to speak on leadership. I knew that was what I wanted to do. I went through so many contortions before I owned and said, I make leaders great.
Right.
I went in every other direction because I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. I was afraid that I wasn't real enough. I was afraid that I didn't have knowledge. Meanwhile, like back at the ranch, I ran 2 businesses by the time I was 17. I was director of operations and president of a direct sales company. I had run a large non-for-profit, and like, dang girl, how much more leadership experiences can you get before you decide that you can own it? And that is one of the biggest things that I'm going to say for new speakers. Look into your experience. Look into your world. What are the words that people use about you? Do they call you a leader? Do they call you a motivator? Do you call you a creator? What are the words, an innovator? What are those words that you seem to pop up for you and really resonate with you? And then put those down and declare it. I teach people, and everybody listening to this, I have no problem if I hear it on stage using my words. I will go up on that stage and I will pull you down if I hear you use my words. Just let's be clear about it. Because what I'm about to say is one of my speeches. So you got to know it, own it, and share it. You got to know it. You got to know what you're about. You got to know it. And I knew it on one part of what I wanted, but I didn't know it in terms of this was my God-given gift.
Yeah.
To give. Then you have to own it. You really have to say, boom, this is me. I had no problem. Boom. I'm feisty, fearless, focused, and fun. I'm the badass. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to be up there and I'm going to make things happen. That part I had no problem owning.
Right.
It was, how would I inspire a leader to be, this corporate executive, to lead in the way we need leadership in a diverse world. And it's got to be influential, and it's got to be impactful, and it's got to be inspiring to a group of multi-diverse, ethnic, religious, life-bearing. I mean, we are not a monolithic society.
Right.
So for me, it was, that's what I own. I own leadership in a diverse world. I own it. I know it. I live it. I am it.
Right. Yeah.
And a new speaker needs to, and there are 4 ranges of speakers. Okay. It's the brand new, I don't know anything. I'm just coming into it. It's my first 1 to 3 years. Ooh, I love it. Ooh, I love it. I'll buy everything you have. Blah, 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 blah. Then there's a 3 to 5 year speaker that's going like, oh my gosh, I really got to sell. I got to do this stuff. I don't know that I want to do it. Oh my God, this is really rough. This is really hard. Okay, I'll keep on going. Why does everybody else seem so successful and I'm not? That's a 3 to 5, right? Then there's the 5 to 10 speaker like, really, how stupid am I? I should just quit. I should just go, no, I'm not. I got this thing going on. I'm going to do it. I figured it out. Now I have friends that know it. I know I'm not the only one. Oh, I'm not giving up. I've invested too much time. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. And I'm going to go, wow, look at this. Look, I'm doing this. How awesome this is. Yay! Oh, gosh. And then you have the slide. And then you have the 10-year plus speaker, which is they're not leaving.
Right.
They're not leaving because they've now spent 10 years of their life doing this stuff. And what's really amazing about all of that is that when you know how to run a business, and this is key about speaking, you got to know that this is a business. This is not a hobby. This is not a joy. This is a business. So take business courses.
Wow. So for those that are listening, even if you skipped through the past 20 minutes, those last 30 seconds, the 1 to 3 year, the 3 to 5, the 5 to 10, for me, that's gold right there because it allows you to see the sequencing. It allows you to know what the journey is going to be like. So when you're having those moments where you're feeling like, oh my gosh, am I in the right place? I know there's something that I'm feeling inside of me that I've got to share with other people, but I feel out of place. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm messing this thing up. That right there the 1 to 3, the 3 to 5, the 5 to 10, that series of emotions that Pegine just took you through is something that should help you gain some guidance, some perspective, and a little bit of hope for where you're headed towards. So hang in there. All right. So let's end with this. People can find you at Pegine.com and teampegine.com. Tell us a little bit about what else you've got going on, who you're working with, what you're promoting, what you're putting together now.
Awesome. Well, I have started a new membership that we're actually opening for registration between October 16th and the 20th, and then again in January. And this is called, you could go to FeistyFearlessFemale.com, which leads you to my Pegine's Power Players sign up right now. This is for women who are ready to take it to the next level. Maybe they're in their heart. They know that they've done stuff and now they're ready to go into another place. It's for leaders, authorities, experts, speakers who need to be around someone who knows it. I'm bringing in me. Let me tell you something. I kick people's butt. I'm your like proverbial cheerleader. So it's going to be that. It's going to be bringing in people that can give resources, and it's building a community amongst each other. Now, why is this important, and why do I know this is needed? I started the Power Women of NSA, which is a group within the National Speakers Association. I started by inviting any women that I could find, 20 to my room, saying, I'm doing this. That has led me to create a online group with a bunch of other women. We went from having 20 women to 830 women.
Wow.
This is for all those people who can't yet join National Speakers Association. All those who that's not going to be their game anyway. They want to be, but they know they're feisty, fearless, focused. They know they've got this. So come join me. Go to FeistyFearlessFemale.com, which leads you to the Pegine Powers player, and play with me. By the way, oh my gosh, I got to share this. If you join between October 16th and the 20th, I think it's the last day, it's $25 a month for the first 100 people.
Cool.
That means you're getting me. Yeah, I don't even want to say it because I puke when I say that. Like, $25 a month. Hello. Just FeistyFearlessFemale.com, and you read about it. If it's something that you want to do, apply to receive the RSVP and share it with the world. The other thing that I want people to know about, and you have the link, is speaking business. Speaking is one part of your business. You can build a lot of other components, from training to doing events. And I've been able to build a really, really nice business by expanding what I do in a way that enables people to hear it in the way that they need to hear it. Sometimes people don't understand what a keynote speaker is, but they understand training. Sometimes people want to be coaching, so you have to add that into your mix. And I had shared you with my capability statement, and I just want people to understand you've got to be creative in this business.
Yeah.
If you only rely on speaking, God forbid something happens to you. You've got to have other stuff.
Yeah.
And that was very pissed me off when I heard that, because I thought everybody was making things just from speaking. Right. And then I found out, what? Wait a minute, you have a landscaping business? What? What? You have... Wait, you had this a production business? Wait a minute, you do videos? When you start peeling the onion, you start seeing that people have other gigs going on to supply the income.
Yep.
And so, speakers, please don't do what I did. Because I quit my job that I had really good payment. I was making really good salary, and I had benefits and everything. And I was going to be a speaker. and I quit my job. I told my husband, I gave my boss notice. I gave them a 4-month notice that I was leaving. I told my husband a week before I left.
Uh-oh.
Well, I knew that he was going to yell and scream and be angry because I had the consistent paycheck. You know, he was an entrepreneur.
Right.
And I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it the right way. I didn't put away 6 months' salary. I didn't do any of that stuff. October 1st, 1996 was when I opened my business. 9 o'clock in the morning. April 1st, April 1st, 1996 was when I opened it. 9 o'clock in the morning. April 1st, 1996 at 10 o'clock. I was on my hands and knees in my office crying my eyes out. What did I just do? And I will tell you, it took years to finally have the same benefits and the salary that was equal to what I had left.
Right. Well,
I mean, that's just the truth, the way it is.
Yeah.
If you're walking away from something, you could do this on the side. I wish I had listened. This is you could do that.
Yeah.
But you got to know that if you're going to go, you're going to hustle and you're going to pay. You have got to hustle.
Yeah, you got to.
And hustle.
There she goes. Well, listen, Pegine, it's been phenomenal to have you here. I want people to go check you out again, Pegine.com, teampegine.com. Go check her out and go check her out at the other site. Was it Fearless?
Fearlessfemale.com.
Fearless Females.
Feisty. Feisty. Fearlessfemale.com.
Awesome. And you'll see that information in the show notes. And you won't be lost. Make sure that you check out Pegine and hang out with her, and you will be steered in the right direction so that you two can have a successful and feisty career in the speaking world. Thanks so much for joining us today on Successfully Speaking, the journey of a storyteller. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, and I'll see you soon. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that today. Look out for us on iTunes and Stitcher as we'll drop new episodes every Tuesday. Be sure to subscribe. Tell all your peeps about the show. And if you have an idea for the show, make sure that you send your questions to podcast@robertkennedy3.com. That's podcast@robertkennedy3.com. Guess what, everybody? Everything that happens to you in life is your stuff. Your stuff is your story, and your story deserves a stage. I'm Robert Kennedy III, and you've been listening to
The RK3 Show.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel right here on YouTube and the RK3 Show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify.